anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Libs of TikTok, Chaya Ray Chick fails to explain the harm of trans people to society and ends up showing an image of oral sex to the interviewer.
A study finds Gaydar perpetuates harmful stereotypes while some believe it detects sexual orientation accurately. Is Gaydar really a thing?
Extremist attacks on LGBTQ+ supportive places of worship escalate in America. GLAAD and ADL report highlights alarming rise in incidents.
Lauderdale Tropical Bear Week hits Fort Lauderdale and Wilton Manors from March 5th to March 10th, featuring an attractive and hairy lineup.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news broadcasting live and then available on demand. Available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news. It's Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
So let's meet tonight's incredible anchors. I'm so excited to work with you boys tonight. You have no idea. Wow, we've got everything under the sun right here at this table. These are your anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's begin with Eric Restivo. DJ Eric is well known for DJing at some of the largest clubs in WeHo and has had residencies in LA, P-Town, New York City, and now Wilton Manors. He is the new television host of The W Boys, focusing on LGBTQ+ love and entertainment, premiering March 15th. Eric, I love me some karaoke, you know that, and you host one of the best ones of the week, Tuesday nights at the brand new The Well on Wilton Drive. Tell me about it.
Yes, so The Well is the newest bar on the drive. It was previously Hamburger Mary's. They were originally going to shut down for about 6 weeks and kind of do some filler and Botox inside. And because of how many events were previously booked at Hamburger Mary's, they decided to stay open and give the people what they want. Karaoke is every single Tuesday from 8 to midnight. It is not your ordinary karaoke night. There are live Broadway videos in between. There's performances from your favorite, award shows, and then we exclusively use the Carafun app, which is known to have almost every song you could think of. So come check us out every
I love
Tuesday.
that. I love that, Eric. Definitely will be there. And nothing you do is ordinary, dude.
Never.
You are just... I love you, Eric. Next up, let's welcome my friend for many years. He's Paul Thomas. Wait, did I just call us old?
Yeah.
I just met Paul like last week.
Yeah.
Okay. He is currently a member of the LGBTQ+ advisory committee to the city of Miami Beach. He's on the board of directors for the Point Foundation and on the endorsement committee for SAVE. Good evening, Paul. Listen, you got to tell me about the Evangelical Baptist Church. I know that it's located at 17601 Northwest 2nd Ave in Miami Gardens. It's not far from my house, but they're going to have something incredible, helping people with medical, job assistance, food, clothing, and more. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the churches are stepping up and they're having these community affairs to try to bring support services, and I'll be there. They called and said, would you come? I do a grant with Care Resource, and we have a mobile clinic. We bring healthcare to the people. Come and check us out. If you live nearby, if you want to get tested for HIV, if you want to get your COVID vaccine or your flu vaccine, or if you just want to ask us some questions, we'll be there all day from 12 to 5.
And I love that you spotlight helping immigrant families, which is so important here in South Florida. There's so many families that don't know where they can go to get help, or they're afraid they're going to get deported or something, or something like that. And you folks, none of that's happening at this church.
Right. That can happen in other areas in healthcare, so they do have to be careful. I don't want people to be misled, but at FQHCs, which Care Resources, a federally qualified health center, immigrants are safe. Your immigration status does not matter. We don't even ask. And you can come and get all the healthcare that you need.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul, for that. Next up, let's welcome anchor Jonathan Casañas. He's still damn cute. It's just that I want to say his name again. Jonathan Casañas.
I think the name is cute. I don't know about me.
No, the name matches your gorgeous body. A board member of Forward Miami, he's also one of the producers of Gay Ocho Festival, the largest Latin diversity and inclusion festival in the nation, and one that I am super proud and honored to be a part of. Good evening, Jonathan, and welcome back. Óyeme.
Thank you.
You know that I love me some Elton John, and you were talking about some crazy event that you've got coming up. Tell me.
I would say crazy. It's called Elton Undressed. So Todd Alsop's, he's a renowned pianist and singer-songwriter. He invited me along with Yoli Mayor and Matthew Darren, who is a very famous anchor here on the show. But yeah, we're going to do some Elton medleys, and it's called Elton Undressed for a reason. I guess I'll just leave that there.
Ooh,
and it's March 5th at Hunter's.
Oh my God! Anything at Hunter's is fantastic. Anything at Hunter's is fantastic. And then you put in Elton John. I mean, think about that. And then you put in Undressed.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of have a crush on you, Matthew Darren, and Yoli. So I'm good with any kind of undressing you do.
Well, I want to be undressed. I want to be undressed with all of them, but I particularly want to see Yoli Mayor. I haven't seen them really sing in a while in person, so I'm really happy to do that. But of course, I mean, let's just talk about you, Fay. You're our lead anchor for tonight, but it's also Women's History Month, and Hotspot's happening out. Art Gallery kicks off Saturday, March 2nd for a special lesbian and queer women exhibit. And of course, you're the host yet again, because you host everything and you're so amazing at it. But tell us about it. What's going on?
Thank you, baby. So I'm really excited to kick off Women's History Month at the Hotspots Gallery. It's called The Women Power Imagine, featuring 30 women artists, including the incredible Carrie Castillo, who we love, that will be on hand to help pick the winners of ribbons and $1,000 cash. Opening reception with me is Saturday, March 2nd at 6 p.m. We're going to have food and fun. Artist Talk will be March 14th, and the Artist Showcase will be March 16th with my funny girl, Miss Natalie, will be out there. Hotspots Gallery is located at 2401 North Dixie Highway, so come check it out Saturday and help me kick off Women's History Month in an incredible way.
Nice.
So, folks, we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. Let's begin by queering up trans rights. Libs of TikTok tries to explain the material harm of trans people. In a recent interview with Washington Post journalist Taylor Lorenz, Chaya Rychik, known online as Libs of TikTok, struggled to articulate the purported harm caused by transgender individuals. Rychik, notorious for spreading anti-LGBTQ plus sentiments, evaded questions regarding her obsession with transgender people, often resorting to vagueness and vague responses. When pressed about the consequences of eradicating transgenderism, Rychik stumbled over her words, insisting that transgender identity is based on falsehoods. In her words, quote, "It's a lie," end quote. Despite Lorenz's attempts to clarify the harm posed by accepting transgender individuals, Rychik failed to provide concrete examples, emphasizing her preference for truth without addressing the material harm. Rychik's evasiveness culminated in a bizarre attempt to divert the conversation by showing Lorenz a picture of someone performing oral sex.
What?
After this, the gays went crazy, and numerous comments started pouring in on social media platforms from the community across the world. One user called her the most mad she has ever been in life. Some made fun of her lack of knowledge, while some speculated that Rychik's behavior, including wearing a t-shirt with Lorenz's face, was intended to troll the journalist who previously exposed her identity. Rychik's inability to articulate coherent arguments against transgender individuals shows the vacuity of her anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric. Her fumbling attempts to justify her bigotry are a reminder to every ill-informed conservative out there. Get educated. Listen, Miss Rychik.
Even just a little bit.
Even just a little bit. I mean, if you're going to fight against us, at least know what the hell you're talking about, I mean, she's not educated on everything, and if you're going to hate us, you got to know what you're going to talk about, just putting memes every day doesn't do anything, and it doesn't explain anything, and especially if you don't even know what the memes mean, Miss Rychik, And why is it a lie? I mean, if anything, you are a bad representation of a human being. And that right there, you're a lie, saying that you're a good representation of a human being. I mean, I can go on and on. This rhetoric is what kills our black and brown trans women. This shit. spreading ill information. Get yourself educated, and maybe you'll come up with a more educated response. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
So she doesn't stress herself. It doesn't take a lot of education. The thing is, people exist. Other people exist. They're there. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to. She's like, I don't think it's real. The people are sitting right there in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that's
you can't just deny people that are sitting in front of you.
That's kind of what they asked her too.
Right. Yeah.
Because she basically came off as a transphobe, but she was trying to say that she wasn't. But then she was saying it's a lie. She goes, "Oh, so you don't like trans people?" She's like, "That's not what I said." And I was like, "But you think it's a lie?" And it's like she kept going back and forth. It didn't make any sense. And I feel, and the thing is that bothers me the most is how people buy into this shit. Like this was not an educated response at all, but people are at home going, "Ooh, she right."
She right. What she said.
Yeah.
Well, people are holding on to that one fact that she pulled that picture from the general queer education book, right? So the act of performing oral sex was being displayed in this book.
But it was an illustration, wasn't it?
I mean, it was an instructional on how to do it.
And that's important. You need to know how to suck a peep.
Maybe not in third grade.
No, of course not.
And that's where the book lived, in an elementary school.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to take like the conservative little twink, approach to this whole thing, but I just do want to shed a little bit of light on I love oral sex, giving, receiving, any of it, all times, many times a day. But do I think that it needs to be illustrated in a book in an elementary school? No. Do I think that we need to bring back almost all of the banned books that have been banned in Florida? Yes. I just want to
Sure, but these are two different issues, though.
And she is the type of person, though, that will take both issues and jumble them together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where we need to really, stop it.
See, I have a different opinion on that, though. I don't have a problem educating children. This idea that kids are too young to talk about issues is nonsense. Somebody made that up years ago. They said you can't do that till they're 11, and it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And it's also not medically true. And by the time you're in the sandbox, you're going, that one's cute, that one's not. Your biology, you're already doing these things. You're having conversations, letting kids feel comfortable, safe conversations and safe environments about things that they may have questions about. I don't see what the problem is.
And that's the safest way. We live in 2024. You can Google anything, and there's always that one smart Alex school kid that knows too much and will show you his pee-pee.
That's how I learned. I've been doing this since '96. I've been doing this for a long time. But my mom didn't teach me. My dad didn't teach me. So I wanted to go do it more because it felt rebellious, right? It felt like it wasn't the mainstream, so this is what I wanted to do. But if it was my kid and somebody else was trying to teach my kid how to take it in the butt, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable with that.
But
you know what I mean?
No,
of course.
Right, but the thing is this, when they're teaching that instruction, they're also teaching when to say no. They're also teaching kids to go hey, we're having this discussion, consent, and guess what? If someone's asking you to do this, you're allowed to say no. It's an instructional booklet.
I think you're bringing up all great points. I think that this book was not what you're saying at all. We should get the book. I don't think.
Let's get the book.
If it was what you're saying, it would be perfect.
It would be.
But it's not. So that's really what we're dealing with here. But
you guys get the book.
We should get the book and follow up on it.
I'll come back. If you get the book, I'll come back for that episode.
I need to get the book. We'll do story time right here. How to. Right?
All right. This is going to be one of those case-sensitive kind of stories. It's case by case.
For sure. What's next, then?
All right, love you all. Next, let's queer up gay culture. Is gaydar a real thing? Here's the science.
This is Gay Science. In today's episode, how does gaydar work? Gaydar is a superior genetic trait specific to gay people that allows them to identify each other discreetly. It evolved out of a necessity to survive the bizarre world that heterosapiens have created with things like religion, cryptocurrency, and eating fondue at the mall. Sharing a similar science to earthquakes, gay people send and receive small vibrations through the ground that only they can feel at the same frequency as Mariah's whistle tone. This is how the monsters could locate Reba McEntire in the movie Tremors. There are many ways to use gaydar, like gay whiplash. After a first pass at eye contact, a second, faster double take is initiated and reverberates into the ground. These signals are so strong that two men could be wearing oversized polo shirts and Margaritaville boat shoes at a Tom Clancy book signing in Memphis, Tennessee, and still know the other others gay. Another method is lesbian apparel pheromones. There are some clothes, like a beanie, that look different to gay women when another gay woman wears it. The gaydar trait is only accurate in person. In an experiment at the Chromatica Institute, gay and straight men scored the same when asked to identify homosexuals from photos alone. However, gay participants did spot the other gay participants, and later, all hooked up.
That was fun, but let's see if there is actually more to gaydar. How many times have you heard, quote, my gaydar is going off? Well, recent research sheds light on the concept of gaydar and the notion that individuals can sense if someone is gay or queer. While commonly perceived as harmless, a study by the University of Wisconsin-Madison exposes the detrimental effects of this belief. Published in the Journal of Sex Research, the study revealed that gaydar perpetuates harmful stereotypes despite its guise of social acceptability. Lead researcher William Cox conducted experiments showing participants the photos of men accompanied by statements about their interests. Those primed to believe in gaydar were more inclined to rely on traditional stereotypes such as assumptions about shopping preferences or emotional sensitivity, appearance, dressing styles, and more. Cox argues that legitimizing gaydar reinforces the use of stereotypes, posing a danger to LGBTQ+ individuals. Yet, conflicting studies exist. Dutch researchers claim that gay individuals possess a heightened attention to detail, which we do, suggesting they may excel at discerning other sexual orientations. This study, conducted by Leiden University, indicates that gay participants were slower in their responses, but more accurate than their straight counterparts while guessing about people's sexuality. What do you think about these studies? Does gaydar exist, or are we still controlled by stereotypes? Although I sort of think that's a loaded question that we're leading into this discussion with, because no matter what, stereotypes are always going to exist, even though we try to chisel them away every single day. I do believe gaydar exists. I don't think it's so much of a serious science. Wisconsin, Madison, no disrespect, but you ain't the one. But, you know, it's just, I mean, it's funny because I think that maybe with the study that gay people showed a slower response to what was maybe in front of them is because we were taking our time to think and really just suss out, is that person, you know, on our team or not? Also, who cares? It's 2024, gaydar, this, that.
I love that.
But sure, I think there's presenting feminine, you know, gay men. I think that there's presenting butch lesbians. I think there's both sides of that in our non-binary community. So sure, of course it exists.
Okay, but you feel an energy, don't you sometimes feel like again, you know, there's no perfect gaydar. I don't think there's a perfect gaydar, right? In Latin culture, and I think Jonathan will attest, older señoras, they cut their hair super butch, they dress very butchy, and they ain't gay, okay? At all. That is just, when they get to the degaff stage and they don't give a shit, they're just gonna dress how they dress, you know? I think my gaydar is good with gay boys, okay? My gaydar is completely effed with women. Like,
really?
I will get hit on by a woman, and I think she's just asking me about my dress, and I think she's just asking me about how, you know, something, and I'm
that face.
And she's trying to sit on my face or have me, you know, stick some stuff in, you know, and I can't do that. I'm a married woman.
Yeah, but the reason why you know it because you know we have like a language, right? We have like vocal inflections, mannerisms. There are things that we know that maybe the general straight person wouldn't. And so if you say one thing, I know sometimes if you say one thing, I'm like, bitch, you didn't pick that up at Publix. Right. You caught that at the bar. So now I know just that one word, or if you did this, I'm like, oh okay, hold up, honey.
Or if he calls himself a bottom. You know, like we have lingo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know. All that stuff is outward, right? Yeah. I always thought gaydar was the stuff you didn't see and hear. I always thought gaydar was when I'm sitting at work and I look across and I'm like, that coworker of mine, there's something about that coworker of mine. But it's not because but it's not their physical. It's not because they look like a stereotype. There's something else. Yeah.
There's an aire. In Spanish we say there's an aire.
No, I mean, you know how you go by people and you're like, oh, their energy is weird. Like something's off. Yeah. I always thought gaydar was, there's something about the energy. Me personally, there have been lots of men, mostly married men.
Yeah.
Who it was like, you know what? there's something about this guy. And it would turn out that the guy was bi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Okay.
it wasn't because he acted a certain
there was
way
an
or
energy.
talked a certain way. But it was just something about him that it was like,
It's like a
my
whole-
gaydar is going
Hey,
off.
but that
Like,
is a
even
part of gaydar.
even though he's
It is.
standing there
That's
with his
gaydar.
wife and 3 kids, something else is going on over there because I can feel it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
And the thing is about
That, my friend,
gay.
is gaydar.
The thing is about gay men is sometimes we try it, even if our gaydar is not like super like popping off.
Yeah.
Like, let me not say too much detail. There's someone I know in a professional environment that we were chipping little by little.
Yeah.
It was, hey, what's up? And then it was,
Yeah.
what'd you do this weekend? And then it was like, nice shirt. And like little by little, we were like catching each other. And like, now we're like, what's up, baby? How you doing? You know, now it's like
You asked
full
for the deep
on.
pics already?
No, we're getting there because
Okay,
he
okay,
already
okay.
because I said you're not gonna open the door, bro. Too much information. I'm like,
He's gonna know.
he was
He's gonna
opening the door for a woman, and then he was about to go in and hold it for me, and I was like, oh, you're not gonna open the door for me? And he was like, for you, I'll open anything.
Yeah! And you're like,
And that was
bend over.
it. But it took us like 3 months to like
Right.
get that
Get
back
there.
and forth
Right.
because we were both trying to catch each other with our gaydars, but we just weren't sure. But some people just don't care. We're gonna go for it no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
I meet a lot of those. That's why I'm like, my gaydar's all over the place. I look like a lesbian from the back sometimes. It's all over. You know.
Paul, what's next?
Very
Poppy?
interesting. Well, now we're going to queer up. Talk about a place where you need some gaydar. Let's queer up religion. This is serious, guys.
Sorry, we're getting serious.
We're getting serious, yeah.
More than 60 religious organizations targeted in hate for supporting LGBTQ plus rights. Recently, many places of worship have been targeted by extremists in the United States because they are supporting LGBTQ plus people. According to a new report from GLAAD and the Anti-Defamation League, between June 2022 and January 2024, over 60 religious institutions were attacked. These incidents also included arsons and threatening messages. These attacks happened at churches, synagogues, mosques, temples, and other religious buildings. And some conservative social elements disapprove of these places for supporting LGBTQ plus individuals. They try to deter these institutions from following the path of inclusivity. One example is Eamon D. Penny, who admitted to firebombing a church in Ohio because it hosted a drag event. Another incident involved someone driving their car through a pride exhibit at a church in Washington. In Pasadena, California, a pride flag was set on fire outside a Buddhist temple. Even during Pride Month, graffiti threatening LGBTQ plus people was found on a church steeple in Boston. Ross Murray from GLAAD says that despite these attacks, religious communities should continue supporting LGBTQ plus people. He says it's important for everyone to feel safe and welcome, regardless of who they are. These incidents show that there's still work to be done to ensure everyone can practice their faith without fear. And you know, it was really sad when I read this, that this was because I was thinking, you know, our community has had such an issue with places of worship, right? And we have been working really hard for decades on trying to get them to open up and change. I'm always talking about, you know, we've been working really hard on trying to teach the church what unconditional love looks like.
Wow, sad, huh?
What unconditional love looks like. And we've been doing it through our community in order to show them we have to be it.
Yeah.
So we've had to become better people within our community, right? To show them this is how we really are. And as they start to open up and include us, there are people far out into the fringe somewhere. They have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Who find the time, take the time out of their lives.
Yeah.
To come and desecrate buildings, to try to because it's not just making the LGBTQ plus people feel unsafe.
Yeah.
Everyone that goes in that
everyone
building.
feel unsafe.
Now,
Yeah,
and
right.
these are people's mom. I may be going in that building with my mother and my grandmother.
Of course.
Why should my mother and my grandmother have to go through that? We're just going to church.
You're just
right?
trying to go to a church, you know?
Like that game of
And-
Minesweeper when they would plant the
Right.
mines and then you would
Right.
try to hit the square, but you don't know where to go because
Right.
it's just traps everywhere, you
Right.
know?
No, but it's listen, as long as there's hate, there will always be fear, right? And that's a sad statement, but it's the truth, you know? I am really close to 2 churches. One that I met Paul at, right? So we've gone to Unity on the Bay together for a million years.
Long time.
And we are right now on the campus of Sunshine Cathedral, right? Which is another incredible space, right? These, you know, Sunshine Cathedral is our queer church. Literally is their hashtag, right?
It's my place of worship.
And Unity on the Bay is it's not like most churches where they say welcome to all, and it's not welcome to all, right? And
it's inside of a synagogue.
And it's inside of a Jewish temple. How funny is that, right? That is how inclusive we are. But so I host Sunday services every Sunday at Unity on the Bay, and I would be lying if I didn't say that I am triggered by seeing a book bag, that I'm triggered by someone looking shady.
Right.
And this is a place where we're welcoming everyone. And as the host, I feel out of sorts, and I have horrible thoughts of things that could happen to us, you know? Sunshine Cathedral has been defaced not one time, not 2 times, but I think about 5 different times where something has been graffitied or messed up during Pride Month or something like that, you know? Churches are our safe place, and that is why queer people are even afraid to go to church, you know? I mean, and then things like this happening. Those pictures were alarming. To see your church go up in flames, like it's beyond hateful.
The statement though from the ADL at the end, where he said, you know, these institutions have to continue to support the community, is really the point, right?
Yeah.
It's like everything else. It's like we didn't stop having pride parades because they were harassing us there. We're not going to stop going to these.
Why do you think they'll pull back?
Well, I think some institutions, I think it gives, you know, a lot of them are fracturing from what I'm reading. They're deciding that, hey, if you're the Baptist organization that's going to include LGBT, then you can't be part of the full Baptist conference.
Some churches have been
Methodists
thrown
are,
out.
They're getting thrown out of their larger, so they're a reckoning. But I would encourage any of them in earshot to continue to allow and support anyone that comes through that door. In my experience, people that go to those places, they're going for a reason. A lot of times things are going on. A lot of times when you have things going on in your life, you need some solace. You may seek out a place like that.
Yeah.
You need that place, and that place needs to be there, despite the graffiti, despite the threats. So I'm asking those institutions, you know, please be part of the good fight.
Yeah.
Please keep in.
Often it gets worse before it gets
exactly.
better.
Stay strong. At Unity on the Bay, we have 2 cop cars outside for every service. You know what it is to have 2 cop cars?
Sometimes they have them
when
here.
you're just trying to pray. You know what I mean? But that's our new reality, and we're not going to stop going because you're going to threaten us. We're just not.
Right.
Oh, jeez. Well, let's lighten the mood.
Yeah. Let's talk about some bears.
For that.
Let's talk about some tropical trans hotties.
Yeah. Let's shake that off. Next, let's queer up gay culture.
Oh.
Lauderdale Tropical Bear Week is here from March 5th through the 10th. Get ready for a wild week as Lauderdale Tropical Bear Week descends upon Fort Lauderdale and Wilton Manors from March 5th to the 10th. In partnership with Fay What Show, among other groups, this 6-day extravaganza promises non-stop fun with a lineup of exciting events. From the Bears in the Park party featuring guest appearances by Big Dipper and yours truly.
Yeah.
And a VIP cruise, a bear cruise on the Jungle Queen riverboat. There's something for everyone. Enjoy great entertainment from Crystal Waters, Varla Jean Merman, Drew Sebastian, and top-notch DJs. Weekend passes start at $119 with a VIP ticket price at $319. Individual party tickets are also available. The festivities kick off with the VIP welcome pool party at Solstice at Wilton and culminate in the Tsunami pool party at Ed Lugo Resort hosted by Scruff.
I love Scruff.
Don't miss out on the action. Don't forget, Tropical Splash with Flockfest and Bear With Me Harness Party with DJ Chichi LaRue at Eagle Wilton Manors on March 7th. The next day will be a Camel Beach party at Birch State Park featuring VIP bar with Atia and Rose Gin. The list of events is long, and you can check out every event with details at LauderdaleTropicalBear.com. It's 6 days of hot bears and unforgettable memories in your favorite bear den, and we mean the city of Wilton Manors. This is exciting for me obviously, because we partnered up with them to host Bears in the Park. Big Dipper's coming, which is great. So I'm going to be performing with him. Alex Ramos is going to be DJing that party. But there's so much going on that there's something for everyone. And I know you're going to try to make one of them.
Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. Look, I'm that girl. I love the Bears. When I go to gay days, I stay at the Bear Hotel on purpose, okay? Because that's how much I love the Bears. And there's so much going on for all of these things. Like, I love Chichi LaRue.
Yes.
Like, Chichi LaRue brings it, and the Bears love her. Varla Jean is incredible also.
Quite the sexy bear.
And quite the sexy bear, right? So this used to be formerly called Bears in the Alley. If you used to go to that, right? This is what it is now, and it's just going to be completely crazy. Eagle is just such a wonderful place. When you think of a leather bar, right? And then you go to Eagle, right? It's such an inclusive place, but it gives you such a safe space, right? The leather community is awesome there. The Bears are great there. They used to do something just like in the Alley, and it grew so big that now they have 6 days of this.
From a parking lot to a whole week event. And listen, like, it's come one, come all. It's not just for Bears. It's Wilton Manor. So obviously, like, you're going to stumble into some shit that you're going to want to get into.
Yes!
But I'm hoping that it's going to, like, compete with some of the other kind of Bear Weeks. Obviously, there's a lot of work to be done before you get to that. But from one year to the next, it's grown so much. And just with the support of the community, I think we have a chance to.
Listen, I would pay $119 just for Crystal Waters.
Yes.
So I mean,
yeah.
I mean, right?
I mean, talk about gay icons.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
for real.
And some of the really cool sponsors are Uber Lube, who are fantastic.
Yes.
Bears of South Florida. Rawr, I love you guys. Out South Florida, Gay Ocho, Out Click, Flock Fest, and Urban Bear, okay? Just to name a few of the sponsors. It's going to be an incredible event. Go on over to LauderdaleTropicalBear.com, right? And look at all the information and go to one of the events. You might just see me there in a prom dress.
I like that you keep pointing out that it's inclusive and that you don't have to be a bear. Because when I hear about those, I mean, that's not me, right?
No, and most people feel that way until you go to one of their events, and then all of a sudden you're like, I was stupid. I should have come to this before.
You might fall in love with a bear. Who knows?
You might
catch
fall
the bear, might fall in love with
Get
Get some belly rubs while you're at it, so you don't put your fingers in some fur and have some fun, man.
That's the Uber Lube, honey.
That's it. Tonight's broadcast is presented by viewers like you and the generous support by Visit Lauderdale. Everyone under the sun.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ Plus 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ Plus 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Pedro Pascal wants to make out with Kieran and Culkin, and he can suck it. Pedro Pascal, after a tipsy Screen Actors Guild win this week, jokingly planned out to make out with Kieran and Culkin at the after party. This follows their playful feud, which started with Culkin's suck it jab at the Golden Globes. Wait, does it mean Pedro Pascal is in? I hope so. After the SAG Awards, Pascal also playfully teased Culkin about smelling his pits, continuing their award season banter. One of the funniest moments was at the Emmys, when Pascal joked about Culkin beating him up, as Pascal was wearing a shoulder arm sling at the time. The truth is, we love to see these frenemies. Pascal's SAG victory for HBO's post-apocalyptic hit, The Last of Us, was honored at the Emmys.
Kieran. Orange. I mean, didn't he say you guys were gonna make out?
No, I told me that.
I did. I said that we would make out.
You said that we make out?
I said that I would.
False.
Yes.
He also did ask if I wanted to smell his pits. That was weird.
Yeah. Well,
But that was
it's just
around
kind of
people.
like
I'm not
a
like
nerve
blowing your
thing.
spot. If there were people
Just
around, you're
a
like,
lack
you want to
of-
smell?
no,
No,
it's
you're trying to say that because you were nervous? Or?
Kieran, would you like to smell my armpit?
No, of course not.
Okay.
I don't think I want to smell
Fine.
it.
There's something different.
Am I? Because they don't want to smell your pits? Who are you? You want to smell mine? But you don't have to answer that. That's, all right.
Yo,
Well, here we are.
I love that the frenemies are together, both with statues.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, I got one of these.
I know
He's
you
got
got-
mine,
I
so.
I would like to thank Kieran Culkin and Matthew McFadyen and Brian Cox for this award.
Yes.
I would like to the male members of the Succession family, all my thanks.
You're welcome. You don't deserve it.
I mean, hug it out, fellas. It's the end of the
Do the
season.
rest of this and don't smell me.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up social justice. National LGBTQ plus LGBTQ Task Force says, do more than just vote. The National LGBTQ Task Force urging you to join their organizing committee and monthly meetings to take action in defense of democracy. With legislative attacks on the LGBTQ plus community increasing, the task force emphasizes the importance of community building, leadership development, and activism. Their message is clear. Do more than just vote. Task Force emphasizes the need for a collective effort to counter the challenges. When you sign up, they regularly help you participate in events and training opportunities. Individuals can contribute to the fight against discriminatory policies and uphold the rights of LGBTQ plus individuals nationwide. Join the revolution at thetaskforce.org.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Nick Offerman slams the homophobic comment on The Last of Us gay storyline, says, quote, "You asshole," end quote. Nick Offerman responded to homophobic criticism of The Last of Us in a fiery Independent Spirit Awards speech this week. Winning for Best Supporting Performance, he defended the queer storyline, saying, quote, "It's not a gay story. It's a love story, you assholes," end quote. Offerman played Bill, a reclusive closeted survivalist in the series, when another survivor, Frank, stumbles upon his house for help. They end up developing a passionate bond. The episode then follows their queer love story spanning 2 decades as the infected capture the world. The couple eventually chooses to end their life together. Although widely regarded as one of the top television episodes of the past year, it faced a barrage of negative reviews from homophobes. But clearly, Nick knows how to handle it in just a few words.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Film Independent. I'm astonished to be in this category, which is bananas. Congrats to all of you. This is crazy. Thanks to HBO for having the guts to participate in this storytelling tradition that is truly independent. Stories with guts that when homophobic hate comes my way and says, "Why did you have to make it a gay story?" We say, because you ask questions like that, it's not a gay story, it's a love story, you asshole. So more of that. Neil Druckmann, Craig Mazin wrote this thing. Peter Hoare directed it. Murray Bartlett planted the strawberries, and that is not a euphemism. Thank you to my mom and dad and my agents at UTA, but most importantly, my bride, my puzzle coach, and legal property, Megan Mullally. I love you forever.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Keanu Reeves' steamy pics of his homophobic play shocks the LGBTQ plus community. In 1984, Keanu Reeves starred in a homoerotic thriller, Wolf Boy, alongside Cora Marot. This week's steamy photos from the play resurfaced online, shared by queer director Brace LaBruce in 2019. The small production, written by Brad Fraser, tells the story of two boys in a mental institution. Reeves' performance, including a scene in White Jocks, is receiving all the praise from the queer community. LaBruce's Instagram post is getting hundreds of thankful comments from fans. A clip of one short documentary on the production claims that the film became immensely popular in Toronto's queer community, with some enthusiasts removing promotional posters and later selling them for high prices. You go, Neil.
In Wolf Boy, Keanu played an innocent teen who gets sucked into a relationship with a deranged boy who believes he is a werewolf. The play's homoerotic undertones made it a cult hit in Toronto's gay community and boldly moved the 19-year-old into the local limelight.
Keanu earned his first equity card at this Pasmarai Theatre in Toronto. It was in a production called Wolf Boy, a homoerotic thriller based in a psychiatric hospital. And as you can see from the mid-Frenchie on the publicity photos, it caused a bit of a stir. David Helinski was the snapper with the wet look waiting for Keanu.
And the art director and I brought the two boys into the studio. We spritzed them with a little bit of water to make their hair a little bit nattier and to give them a little bit of glisten on their face. But as the shoot progressed, we kept on asking them to get closer and closer to one another, and eventually asked them to close their eyes and turn around and approach a kiss.
That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, Fay What? And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Paul Thomas, Eric Restivo, and Jonathan Casañas, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night. But before we go, we have a special interview for you. Robert Boo talks diversity honors, Pride Center, and what LGBTQ plus will face in 2024. Anchor David Hopkins had a special interview with him this week. The Chief Executive Officer of the Pride Center at Equality Park. Boo will host with the Harvey Milk Foundation the important diversity honors at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino on March 9th. He talks about Robert's impactful work and insightful views on the issues affecting the LGBTQ plus community.
Robert Boo talks diversity honors, Pride Center, and what LGBTQ plus will face in 2024. Robert Boo is a dynamic leader and passionate advocate for the LGBTQ plus community, serving as the Chief Executive Officer of the Pride Center at Equality Park since March of 2012. With a background in development and a deep commitment to fostering inclusivity, Robert has spearheaded transformative initiatives during his tenure. Pride Center at Equality Park is literally the heart of the LGBTQ plus South Florida community. On March 9th, they will partner with the Harvey Milk Foundation and Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Hollywood, to present diversity honors. The dinner event presents the Harvey Milk Medal to icons like Billy Porter, Belinda Carlisle, and Spencer Battiest. The Alan Schubert Award will be presented to Mark Hunter. Trans-inclusives Tatiana Williams and the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida are also honored. Welcome, Robert, to Queer News Tonight.
Hey, David, how you doing?
Good to see you. It's been a while. So can you tell us about your journey as the Executive Director of the Pride Center at Equality Park and the impact you've brought during your tenure?
Oh my gosh. So, I've been associated with the center since actually 2006. I can't look that old, but being the CEO over the last 12 years has been so rewarding to see the absolute growth in the Equality Park campus, our portfolio of services to the community. And then one of the crowning achievements was to actually build the state of Florida's first LGBT-focused senior affordable and supportive housing community.
That's awesome. So speaking of things like that, how has the Pride Center expanded services and programs to cater to the diverse communities here in South Florida?
So we have the nation's largest weekly gathering of active agers, i.e. seniors, and we call them active agers not because I'm now part of that community, but we've expanded our programs and services with our transgender services coordinator, our Women with Pride coordinator. We have also added more expansion into the active aging community. And like I said, with the housing, it really is a wonderful feeling to provide that safe and welcoming space for our elders as they age in place.
Well, I know you host a lot of different organizations like SAGE. You've got the Coffee and Conversation. What other kind of organizations do you guys host there at the Pride Center as well?
Well, there's actually 10 other organizations that office on our campus. So SAGE of South Florida, the Dolphin Dems, Challenge Fitness, Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, Trans Inclusive Group, the Congregation at Chaim, and Church of the Holy Spirit Song. So when we purchased the campus, it was the intent to create a campus of care, multiple services, multiple organizations providing services to our community. So there could be this whole continuum of care. And then aside from the other organizations that office, we provide meeting room space to over 45 groups that meet on our campus on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis.
How has your experience as the Chief Executive Officer shaped your approach to leadership and organizational growth?
You know, as the CEO of an organization, I had 20 plus years in the corporate world. And so as the CEO of a nonprofit organization, I'm there to mentor, nurture, and grow our staff. And so it's so rewarding when I see multiple people from our staff go off and build their own nonprofit organizations, such as Lorenza Robertson with the Ojima Men's Collective, Tatiana Williams with Trans Inclusive, Jorge Delgado with High Impacto. So it's really a very rewarding experience to nurture and to grow our own staff as well as the community itself.
Excellent. So speaking of the community, what challenges do you face in securing funding for LGBT-friendly programs, and how have you overcome them?
So one of the challenges is finding funding for our Women with Pride program, with transgender services programming, our active aging. All of those programs are not funded by a grant, and so we have to fundraise for those. But we feel so important that they are so important to provide. We absolutely still continue to fundraise for those. One of the vehicles that we utilize is the AHF Florida AIDS Walk matching opportunity, which if we raise $500,000, they will match it with $500,000. So that helps us provide all of our programs and services. And even those programs that we do have a grant, the grant funding doesn't cover all the expenses. So yeah, we need to still fundraise for everything.
Well, and you guys are also the ones who throw arguably the biggest Halloween party in South Florida, Wicked Manners. Does that assist with fundraising, or is that just more community involved?
Oh, no. We do not put on this event for just a community event. No, it is a fundraising event. It helps provide our vital services and programs to the community. And Wicked Manners is the largest in the southeast of the United States because we always stay true to the date, no matter what day of the week it is. Mm-hmm. So last year we had over 30 to 35,000 people in attendance, and that was on a Monday night, I think it was.
Yeah, I was in the costume contest with a bunch of friends.
Oh, good.
We've actually done live broadcasts of Wicked Manners as well. If you look through Queer News Tonight from home, you can see an old broadcast. Actually, It's Happening, our talk show that did a live broadcast. It's amazing. You have to come down for that. So, speaking of coming up events, tell us about Diversity Honors Gala and its importance to celebrating authenticity, leadership, and courage in the LGBTQ+ community.
So one, we're so grateful for the Hard Rock because they are presenting sponsor and they have been so supportive of the LGBTQ community here in South Florida and bringing the Harvey Milk Foundation and the Pride Center together. The Harvey Milk Foundation does wonderful advocacy work throughout the world. They go to multiple countries to help protest and educate people against tyranny and suppression. And then here in South Florida, to have all of our programs and services that we provide free to the community, it's a match made in heaven because we're not competing, we're not fighting for the same clientele, and so it really is a good collaboration. And so this is going to be our 8th year of putting Diversity Honors on.
Excellent. And what was the inspiration for that collaboration, or where did that come from? Who started that?
Stuart Milk, actually. We started talking of what could we do together and how could we collaborate. And so with that collaboration in mind, the Hard Rock became part of the triangle, if you will, of making this wonderful event occur. And so, yeah, it's been a fun journey.
And you know, I'm sure some of the people at home, well, everyone should be familiar with Stuart's last name, but tell us about Stuart a little bit so the folks who may not be familiar with him.
Sure. So Stuart is the nephew to Harvey Milk, who was killed back in, I think, his 45th anniversary of his assassination was just this last November. And so some people went to Stuart and said, hey, you really should start a foundation to commemorate and continue the work that his uncle started. And so, yeah, it's one of those storybook telling of an organization starting grassroots and then growing and getting to the platform that they are.
Excellent. So how do you select the honorees for the Diversity Honors Gala, and what criteria are considered for recognition?
Well, we look at our local heroes who have made a difference in the lives of the LGBT community. And so we want to elevate and promote them for their hard work because it is tough. It is tough, especially in the state of Florida, with our community being under attack by our own administration. So we look for those individuals who are improving the lives of our local community, and then we look at the individuals on a national and international basis with the same regard of what are they doing to help improve the lives of our community and to bring light to all the work that we're doing, as well as all the challenges that we're facing.
And as someone who's a director of, actually vice president of a charity organization, you guys must have your work cut out for you because there's a lot of good people down here that do a lot of work.
Yeah.
On different scales. So that's an amazing thing you guys do, and it's appreciate it. So what do you hope attendees will take away from Diversity Honors Gala, and how does it contribute to advancing inclusivity and diversity?
So the takeaway is I want the audience and everyone that attends to get to know the honorees in a little bit. And our awards gala is not long in program. And we want people to come, enjoy, interact, meet, greet, and get to know these heroes in our world a little bit more.
Excellent. So considering the evolving landscape, especially here in Florida, what do you foresee as the key challenges and opportunities that the LGBTQ plus community is going to face in 2024?
So our brothers and sisters in the trans community are especially under attack with the bills to restrict gender-affirming care in youth and in adults. It has gotten to be a very unwelcoming environment for many of those in our community. And I know that there have been some travel bans placed on Florida, and I want our community to come here to show the dollar value of the LGBT community, and I want our own LGBT-owned businesses and organizations to be able to thrive. So I hope that everyone who's watching from outside of the Tri-County area will consider coming here to visit, to spend their dollars to support the local businesses and organizations so our whole community can stay strong, because together we can fight this much better than if we're in our own individual silos.
Yeah, I've noticed it when I'm out and about in the past 2 years, the boycotts of Florida by the LGBTQ community seem to be hurting the LGBTQ businesses the most.
Exactly.
Because our opponents are still coming in droves and just not visiting our businesses. So that's tough. And also, Queer News Tonight has previously reported on the new driver's license and ID restriction that people can't change their gender on there. Thankfully, a current workaround is you can get the passport card with the correct gender markers. But
correct. At the federal level, it's still being recognized, and you can use that as your official document.
Excellent. So about these different issues we're facing, how does the Pride Center plan to address them?
So, surprising, some people go, oh, I really want to support an organization that does advocacy work. And we do that. Even as a 501c3, we can be an advocate for our community. So we do not enforce individuals, but we do endorse individuals, but we do promote and talk about policies and the bills that are being proposed. And so we educate our community on all of those bills that are being proposed, where they are in the process, and who are the contacts that they can reach out to. You can be an advocate on your sofa. You can literally sit there and send emails, make phone calls, and it really is a numbers game, making sure that our elected officials hear from us, and the more that we make phone calls and emails, then they know that we're paying attention.
Yeah, visibility is very important.
Correct.
And also, you guys do offer a lot of direct services through transgender care assistance, housing assistance, and
linkage of services is what we do. We work with everyone. We consider ourselves Switzerland. We work with everyone and try not to duplicate services, but we want to link them to their existing services.
Excellent. And was there anything else you'd like to share with us about the Pride Center Diversity Honors, or what to expect coming up?
Well, the Pride Center at Equality Park, back in 2015, we did a charrette, which is a master planning process, came up with our master plan, and now we're actually going to go back and revisit that master plan to see, post-COVID, how did that change what our major initiatives are for the future of our campus? And so we'll be going through that process shortly, and hopefully updating our master plan, which is our roadmap to 2035.
Excellent. Well, for those at home, Diversity Honors is a very special event for the South Florida community and something you don't want to miss. You can get more information and tickets at diversityhonors.org. Thank you, Robert Booth, for all you do, and we look forward to Diversity Honors on March 9th.
Thank you.